Emergency personnel load a wounded person on a helicopter following a fatal shooting at a Baptist church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Credit KSAT-12. At least 26 worshippers, including a 5-year-old and a pregnant woman, were killed when a gunman opened fire inside a small church in a quiet Texas town on Sunday. America's latest mass shooting happened during a Sunday service at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, a community of 400 people about 30 miles southeast of San Antonio. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said 26 people died, with the victims ranging in age from 5 to 72 years old. The gunman was dressed all in black tactical gear with a ballistic vest and had an assault rifle, Texas Department of Public Safety spokesman Freeman Martin said. He said the gunman arrived at a patrol station across from the church at around 11:20 a.m. He crossed the street and started firing a Ruger rifle at the church, and continued after entering the building. Worst mass shooting in Texas. As he left, he was confronted by an armed resident who chased him. A short time later, the suspect was found dead in his vehicle at the county line, Martin said. There were several weapons inside. Martin said it's unclear if the attacker died of a self-inflicted wound or if he was shot by the resident who confronted him. Sutherland Springs shooting. In pictures, a total of 23 victims were found dead in the church, 2 were found outside the church, and 1 person died in hospital. About 20 others were injured. No motive was given for what Mr. Abbott said was the worst mass shooting in modern Texas history. There are no words to describe the pure evil that we witnessed in Sutherland Springs today, Mr. Abbott said. Our hearts are heavy at the anguish in this small town, but in time of tragedy, we see the very best of Texas. May God comfort those who've lost a loved one, and may God heal the hurt in our communities. Details emerge about gunman. The gunman was named by U.S. media outlets as Devin Kelly, 26, who lived in San Antonio. Kelly was dishonorably discharged from the Air Force after facing a court-martial, CBS News reported. A candlelight vigil is held for the victims of a fatal shooting at the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs. Credit app. An Air Force spokeswoman, Ann Stefan, said he was discharged for allegedly assaulting his wife and child. She said he was sentenced to 12 months confinement after a 2012 court-martial. He ultimately received a bad conduct discharge and reduction in rank. Kelly's Facebook page has been deleted, but cached photos show a profile picture where he appeared with 2 small children. He also posted a photo of what appeared to be an assault rifle, writing a post that read "SHES a bad bitch." Pastor's teen daughter. Among the victims was the teenage daughter of the pastor at the small Texas church. Pastor Frank Pomeroy said he and his wife Sherry were out of town when the attack happened at the First Baptist Church, but their 14-year-old daughter Annabelle was among more than 20 killed. Annabelle was one very beautiful, special child, Mr. Pomeroy told ABC News. His wife said many friends had died. Nick Ulig, a 34-year-old church member who didn't attend on Sunday, said his cousins were at the service and that his family was told at least one of them, a pregnant woman with 3 children, was among the dead. We just gathered to bury their grandfather on Thursday, he said. This is the only church here. We have Bible study, men's Bible study, vacation Bible school. Other victims, some of whom were evacuated by helicopter, included a 6-year-old boy named Rylan who was in surgery after being shot 4 times, his uncle told CBS News. A 2-year-old was also shot and wounded, the Dallas Morning News reported. Trump condemns horrific shooting. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday condemned what he described as a horrific shooting. This act of evil occurred as the victims and their families were in their place of worship. Our hearts are broken, Mr. Trump said on a visit to Japan. Americans do what we do best, we pull together, Mr. Trump said at the start of a meeting with business leaders. We stand strong, oh so strong. He added federal authorities would help Texas in the aftermath of the shooting and that all of America was praying to God. Barack Obama, the former president, appealed for concrete steps to be taken to prevent such tragedies in the future. We grieve with all the families in Sutherland Springs harmed by this act of hatred, and will stand with the survivors as they recover. Barack Obama. At Barack Obama, November 6, 2017. May God also grant all of us the wisdom to ask what concrete steps we can take to reduce the violence and weaponry in our midst. Barack Obama. At Barack Obama, November 6, 2017. Theresa May, the Prime Minister, tweeted tragic loss of life in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Thoughts and prayers with all those affected by this terrible shooting. Sunday services at the small white church are usually attended by about 50 people, local residents said. Law enforcement officials worked the scene of a fatal shooting at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Credit Nick Wagner. Austin American statesman via app. Wilson County Commissioner Albert Games Jr. said his heart is broken. You never think this can happen, but it can. It doesn't matter where you're at. Look at what can happen. It's a tragic day. Massive. He added the gunman took off. They were in a pursuit. They told me he's deceased. I don't know if he shot himself or not. People all know each other. It's a small community, small church, real nice community. Man, you never expect something like this. We don't know what would inspire a guy to start shooting like that. I got a call and they told me there was a big scene going on with a lot of shooting. The details are sketchy. We're trying to find out what's gone on. Emergency personnel respond to a fatal shooting at a Baptist church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Credit KSAT via app. One witness, a cashier at a petrol station over the road from the church, said she heard dozens of shots being fired in rapid succession while the church service was going on. Carrie Matchula said, we heard semi-automatic gunfire. We're only about 50 yards away from this church. This is a very small community, so everyone was very curious as to what was going on. Dana Fletcher, a nearby shopkeeper, said it's a little church in a very small community. I don't know why it would be targeted. It's a very tight-knit community. People all know each other. She added people weren't sure whether there was more than one gunman. The shooting came just over a month after a gunman in Las Vegas, firing down from a hotel room, killed 58 people and wounded hundreds attending an outdoor concert. 2 years ago, a white supremacist, Dylan Roof, entered a black church in Charleston, South Carolina, and shot 9 people to death. Local TV images as police look at the alleged gunman's car. A spokeswoman for Connolly Memorial Medical Center in Floresville, near Sutherland Springs, said, we have accepted a number of patients from the shooting. Helicopters and emergency personnel converged on the scene along with agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives. Ted Cruz, the Texas senator, said, keeping all harmed in Sutherland Springs in our prayers. I'm grateful for our brave first responders on the scene. A woman who lives about 10 minutes away from Sutherland Springs in Floresville and was monitoring the chaos on a police scanner and in Facebook community groups, said that everyone knows everyone in the sparsely populated county. This is horrific for our tiny little tight-knit town, said Alina Berlanger. Everybody's going to be affected and everybody knows someone who's affected, she said.